Welcome to OnCourtAI, the UK's leading AI tennis coach. This podcast is sponsored by Wilson Tennis and the new Blade 98. I'm Coach Chris, joined as always by former touring professional Alex and sports psychologist Dr. Sam. Today, we've got an exciting snapshot of the community's activities over the past week. A total of 72 videos were uploaded by 31 players, and we welcomed 45 new members to our OnCourtAI family. It's fantastic to see such engagement and growth in our tennis community. This week's data shows some interesting trends, especially when we dive into the stroke breakdown. We have 32 videos focusing on forehands with an average score of just 46, while backhands averaged a much healthier 59. You can really see how players are leaning on their backhands. Let's talk through those numbers and what they mean for our players.
What stands out to me is that 13-point gap between forehands and backhands. It indicates players are relying heavily on their backhand, which is a great sign of progress, but it also suggests that their forehand may be underdeveloped. As a former touring professional, I can tell you that balancing both wings is crucial. On the tour, players like me had to develop consistent shots on both sides to compete effectively. If a player becomes too predictable with one side, they become an easier target for their opponents. So we need to focus on that forehand.
That's a great point, Alex. This reliance on one side could also tie into the mental game. Players might feel more comfortable hitting their backhand, which can lead to overconfidence in that stroke and anxiety or frustration when it comes to the forehand. Building confidence in the forehand can be a game changer, not just technically, but also mentally. Players need to develop a mindset where they trust both sides of their game. Consistency, especially with the forehand, will help them approach matches with less fear and more confidence.
Moving on to individual highlights from the week, we had some impressive performances. Sudhir hit a fantastic serve, scoring 72 out of 100, which is a solid score for any level. Not to mention, Warren clocked an astonishing 139 miles per hour on his serve, which puts him in the professional category. That kind of speed is incredible and gives a great advantage on the court. It just shows what can happen when players really focus on their technique and how they can elevate their game.
Absolutely. 139 miles per hour is no joke. To put it in perspective, that's faster than many professionals can manage in a match situation. Players on the tour often aim for serve speeds between 120 to 130 miles per hour to keep their opponents on their toes. Warren's achievement not only showcases raw power, but also indicates that his technique is working harmoniously to generate that speed. Players should look to Warren as a case study on how to develop a powerful serve while maintaining control.
And speaking of control, it's essential for players to manage their mental game when serving at such high speeds. Warren's confidence must be sky high, and that's a key aspect of performing well under pressure. When players develop their mental resilience, they can harness that power without losing focus. It's about finding that balance between aggression and control, which is something I often work on with my clients. They need to trust training and their ability to serve without becoming overwhelmed by the speed.
Let's not forget about Aarav, who generated a remarkable racket speed of 248 kilometers per hour on their forehand shot. This is a fantastic example of how racket head speed can greatly impact the quality of shots. With higher racket speed, players can create more pace and spin, making it much harder for opponents to respond effectively. It's important for players to understand that developing faster racket speed can elevate their game significantly.
Exactly, Chris. High racket head speed is a hallmark of elite players. On the tour, we practiced our swings relentlessly to achieve that kind of speed. Players like Nadal or Federer exemplify this, as they can generate incredible racket speeds while maintaining precision. Aarav's performance is impressive, but it also highlights the need for players to combine speed with control and technique. It's not just about swinging hard, it's about swinging smart.
And from a psychological standpoint, mastering racket speed can have a significant impact on a player's confidence. When players feel they can swing with speed and control, it reinforces a positive mindset. They begin to see themselves as capable of hitting tough shots, which is crucial for their overall performance. Building that belief takes time and practice, but with consistent effort, players can unlock their potential and see improvements in their game.
Now, let's dive into the backhand scores. Daniele scored 68 with an impressive X-factor separation of 43 centimeters and arm extension of 98 degrees. Bernd, on the other hand, scored 67 with an X-factor separation of just 20 centimeters, but an excellent arm extension at 172 degrees. These measurements are really telling. The X-factor separation refers to the rotational gap between the shoulders and hips, and a greater X-factor can lead to more power in the shot, while fuller arm extension typically means a cleaner strike.
That's a solid breakdown, Chris. Daniela's X-factor separation of 43 centimeters is particularly noteworthy because it indicates they are effectively coiling their body before the shot, which is essential for generating power. On the tour, we often focused on such biomechanics. It's the difference between just hitting the ball and hitting it with purpose. Bernd's arm extension is impressive too, which suggests a strong follow-through. Both players are developing important aspects of their strokes.
It's interesting to see how those scores reflect not only technical skills, but also areas for improvement. For instance, Daniela might benefit from working on extending their arm more fully at contact, while Bernd could focus on increasing that X-factor separation. This aligns perfectly with the idea of creating a growth mindset, where players continuously strive for improvement rather than becoming complacent with their scores. It's about setting new goals based on what the data shows.
Speaking of improvement, let's transition into our drill of the day. Today, I'm introducing targeted forehand hitting. This drill is perfect for addressing the most common coaching theme we've seen in our videos: the need to work on a low to high swing path. Many players struggle with starting below the ball and finishing above their shoulder, which is essential for generating topspin and accuracy.
That's a fantastic drill, Chris. Targeted forehand hitting is something we often practiced on the tour too. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about aiming for specific targets, which helps with developing accuracy and control. Top players always have a clear target in mind, and by honing that skill in practice, they're able to translate it to match play effectively. This drill really emphasizes the importance of focus.
And from a mental perspective, having targets to aim for during practice can significantly enhance a player's concentration. It creates a clear objective, which can help reduce anxiety about performance. Players can approach their practice sessions with a mindset of improvement, focusing on hitting those targets rather than worrying about how they might perform in a match. It's a great way to build confidence in a controlled environment.
Now, let's break down how to perform the targeted forehand hitting drill. First, set up a few targets on the court. These could be cones, hoops, or any markers that allow you to aim your shots. Start with a few warm-up swings to get comfortable with your form. Then, begin hitting forehands, focusing on making contact below the ball and finishing with your racket above your shoulder. Aim for those targets and really pay attention to your swing path and follow-through.
It's essential to keep that swing path correct throughout the drill. Just like on the tour, when you set targets, you're not just training your body, but also honing your shot selection skills. Top players often visualize where they want to place the ball, and this drill can help players develop that same level of focus and precision. Remember, it's all about consistency and making those shots second nature.
Players should also approach this drill with a mindset of patience. Developing a new skill takes time, and it's important to celebrate small victories along the way. Aim to practice this drill at least 2 to 3 times a week for about 20 minutes each session to start seeing changes. Building a habit like this will not only improve your forehand, but also boost your overall confidence.
To sum it up, the key takeaway from the targeted forehand hitting drill is that focusing on your swing path and aiming for specific targets can significantly enhance your accuracy and shot quality. By working on a low to high swing path, you'll start generating more topspin and control over your forehand, which will make you a more well-rounded player. Now, let's keep this momentum going.
As we wrap up today's discussion, remember that improvement in tennis is often a journey rather than a destination. Embrace the process, be patient with your progress, and celebrate every incremental gain. With the right mindset and practice, you can achieve your goals on the court. Keep pushing forward and trust yourself. Great things are ahead.
Ready to improve your game? Upload your shot today at oncourtai.co.uk. Until next time.